Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. Joining me today on Caddo Convos is Nick Holmans. Nick, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So let's jump right in and talk about, why do customers do business with you? What's in it for them?
Well, Discount Roofing, we've been in business for 14 years now. And part of what keeps our customers coming back is our lifetime guarantees. So we guarantee the material for life and also our labor.
Terrific.
So if you get a roof replaced by us, we guarantee for as long as you own that house, it will not leak. And there's two reasons we can guarantee that. Number one, we look at every roof as a complete system. We replace all the little components. And in that way, we don't have leaks in the typical areas where the little tiny pieces of flashing are, right? And number two, we come out once every other year to inspect the roof and maintain it, and we don't charge any additional for that.
Excellent. So you're in it, having been in business for 14 years, you're also in it for the long term.
That's correct.
I mean, you're the first roofer I've talked to. Now, maybe they offer it and they omitted it. I'm definitely going to ask.
Yeah.
Is how often do they come back and just do that type of visit where they make sure?
And the answer most of the time is they don't come back until it hails, right?
Interesting, yeah.
But every roof, so they're guaranteed by the manufacturer for, let's say, 30 years. That's the most common guarantee. But no roof in North Texas is going to last that long, first of all.
Yeah.
And even no matter where you are in the country, if it's an asphalt shingle or most types of roofing systems, they need some kind of maintenance.
Yeah.
And that has to happen typically every 3 to 4 years.
Right. So staying on top of it by coming back and doing some type of review with the customer who paid for the roof,
right,
is to everybody's benefit.
Correct.
Excellent. So what's your role in the company? Tell me about how long you've been with the company and what is your specialty within the company?
Yeah, so 13 years ago, I purchased the company from the guy who founded it. So now I'm the CEO. I own the company outright now. And I'm more of the visionary of the company. I'd get out and I do a lot of networking as well to get the word out. That's how most of our business comes in, is word of mouth.
You bet.
But I'm not so much in the day-to-day operations anymore.
That's good. You're a leader. Mm-hmm. Yeah, leaders have to lead. And
right.
Also, and tell me about how you built your team. I mean, as you bought the company, tell me about how that's transpired over the years.
I think the biggest thing for us is just putting our cultures out there and letting people know what we're all about. And that's worked well for us in resonating with the right individuals that have the same vision that we do. But we're constantly hiring. We have active campaigns on Indeed and ZipRecruiter. One of my best hires in the past couple of years was actually just a referral through word of mouth as well. So that's how we build the team. And we're still looking to fill several positions right now.
Right. Busy time of the year. Again, having talked to a couple roofers,
yeah.
I own a roof myself in my house. Busy time of year, I assume, is spring. But, I mean, roofs are on the house year-round.
They are, right. And so springtime is always where there's an influx of work for any roofing company that's here in North Texas, which is like the hail capital of the world, right?
We get it. Hard.
And then throughout the summer, we'll work. Now, for us, we scale back a little bit on the steep and high roofs during the summer when it gets closer to triple digits, because it's not actually good to replace an asphalt shingle roof in that type of weather.
Right. And I know the answer, I think, but why?
Well, the asphalt gets soft.
Yeah.
And so when the workers are stepping and turning on that shingle, it can scar it up pretty badly. In fact, it can damage it more than the hailstorm that totaled it in the first place.
Right. I imagine there's a safety concern, too. It's a slippery roof is slippery.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of the conditions, we're still using our safety protocols. But, yeah, absolutely, that could be a factor, too.
Talk to me, so say I have a steep roof. Talk to me about the safety protocols, because we all want to know, say, my wife works 100% from home. Mm-hmm. If she's hearing people up there, I know she would be concerned.
Right.
What type of safety protocols do you use?
Well, number one, it's pretty simple, but put a safety vest on. Make sure that everybody can see you. there's tens of thousands of trash getting thrown off the edge of this roof. So we want to make sure that we don't hit anybody with that. And number two, if you're on that steeper portion or higher portion, you need to have a harness on and to be tethered off. And then three, there's things that we do to help out the workers too, like, for instance, providing some special equipment that can help them with their job. We use the shingle elevators, the laddervators, to get the shingles up on the roof. It's virtually impossible to climb up a ladder with a bundle of shingles over your shoulder in your hands and still maintain 3 points of contact on the ladder. So that's a big safety issue there. We also have this motorized dumpster that can ride around through the yard, has big wide tires so it doesn't leave big ruts, and it raises up to the roof level. And so that's to catch the larger debris before it hits the ground or the Japanese maple that's just below the eave line.
Right.
But it's also just to keep the job site safer, cleaner, more efficient. They can use that same dumpster to actually bring material up to the roof level too.
Now, on your website, are there pictures or video of this? I'm curious. I'm like, I want to go see how that works.
Go check it out.
I want to see it all in action. That's terrific.
It's called the Equipter RB4000.
Oh, okay. That's
pretty fancy name
yeah.
for basically a motorized dumpster. But it is a really neat piece of equipment. Not a lot of roofing companies have it.
Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah, I definitely want to take a look at that. Let's all go to the website right now and just indulge.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to the area you serve. Is this your main office here at the Caddo Flower Mound location?
It is, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we have a small warehouse up the street from here too.
Okay.
But our service area is basically, for me, it's as close to home as possible.
You bet.
But it's the DFW Metroplex. That's basically where we work. We do venture out for some commercial projects or if we have a group of residential jobs, but not any longer than like an hour and a half away from the office.
Right. Close to home is, for all the right reasons.
Right. Yeah. We want to be able to service the roof in the future and show up in a timely manner. And we don't want to be, driving all across the state to get to our jobs either.
Give me let's talk about personas, the types of customers. Who is your ideal customer and what are their needs?
So our company motto is that it costs less to do it right the first time.
Amen to that.
And so a lot of people will have this misconception at first with our name being Discount Roofing. We are not the cheapest roofers on the block. And so it's pretty quick for us to sort of figure that out from the beginning. If somebody's just price shopping, that's not really our client. But if they understand that it does cost less in the long run if you get it done right the first time, as in replacing all those little components that make the roofing system, removing all previous layers of roof to make sure that we can inspect the substrate or the decking. Those are all things that cost more time, cost more money, but they'll prevent a lot of headaches in the future.
Right. The discount is doing it right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how you get your discount. Is you agree to work with someone that's going to do it well.
Right.
Yeah, and then come back every couple of years to make sure that it's still going well. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Let's talk about your team. Because you're a leader. Mm-hmm. What makes a good team in your eyes for the type of business you're in?
Well, before the team, you have to have your systems and processes dialed in.
All right, I like where you're going.
And so for us, that's crucial, and that's why we're able to do a fairly good amount of work with not a very big team. We're a small company.
Yeah.
We have 9 employees total, and then we have 30 or so subcontractors that we work with. But we have 6 people on the sales side, 1 person that does the operations and supervision of the jobs, 1 person that does our estimating and our supplementing, and then an admin that handles the rest. So that's it.
Sounds like a good ratio.
That's our team. Yeah.
Of the right people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your field people that are out there getting all the work done. That's
right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tell me about your reason for choosing Caddo as your office space.
Oh, that's a great topic. So right around COVID, toward the beginning of COVID, our brick and mortar office was up for renewal. This was in Southlake. And I had always toyed with the idea of bringing it back home closer to where I live, which is here in Flower Mound. But at the same time, everybody was uncertain about the future and whether or not it would make sense to even have a brick and mortar office. And so we decided not to renew that lease. And so for the time being, just for a few months, we moved everything into our warehouse. We have a little office inside. Our admin was coming to the warehouse and into this little office. And, amidst all the commotion, she was trying to get her work done. well, we decided, you know what, we do miss having that dedicated office space. But we don't necessarily want to make a huge commitment again because, again, we're uncertain about the future during COVID.
Yeah.
So we actually were just driving down the road and I saw this place. I stopped in. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just immediately took a right because that's just naturally like the when I enter and I tour the building, I just kind of take a right and make my way all around.
Yep.
And there was this corner back there that had realtors and an insurance agent. And I was like, man, these are all the people that we do business with. And we can pass referrals back and forth.
You bet.
So when I looked into office availability, the very first office on the right was available. And it was right in that corner with great referral partners. So we pulled the trigger. I mean, it was pretty easy because it's month to month. There's really no long-term commitment. But in terms of the social aspect of it and having all these other business owners and entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs in the same building with, like a common mindset, it's been great for our growth. It's been great for our morale. People love coming in the office now and visiting with their friends. It's something that we didn't really have before because, again, we're not a huge company.
Right.
So we didn't have that same office culture before.
So you mentioned, referrals are obviously, as you mentioned earlier in the podcast, that very big to you. How are you getting, I mean, obviously you have a website, if people are just searching blind, I guess geographically or whatever, just keywords. But talk to me about how you're getting referrals both inside where the office space you're located and how are you working your network?
So inside the office, they host events. It's great to show up to those events, but also I just go around and I'll door knock the office here, just to drop by and say hi, introduce myself. I want to learn more about their business and how I could possibly help them. I think that's important. I go to networking events throughout the week as well, outside of the office.
Yeah.
But that's the general mindset, right, is givers gain. You want to make sure that you can contribute to somebody, help them grow. And then by this universal law of reciprocation, eventually that'll come back to you as well.
Yeah. They call it, there's a lot of different names for it, karma, all the different things. But yeah, I like that, giver's gain. So how to contact you, just list your website real quick and phone number if there is one.
Yeah, website is pretty simple. It's discountroofingllc.com. The office line is also easy to remember, 214-500-8787.
Piece of cake. Parting thoughts, something you want both the other businesses like yours to know and something for your customers.
Oh gosh, I've been in it so long. I've sort of watched the industry grow, and one thing I've noticed is a lot of people hop into this line of work for the wrong reasons, and that is to make a quick dollar.
Yeah.
The numbers are staggering, actually. In Texas, there's almost 9,000 roofing companies.
Incredible.
And then when the storm hits, you have all the guys that come in from out of state as well to target this area because there's just so much work here. It's, the DFW alone is just it's growing so fast. There's only 302 of us that are actually licensed to perform our trade.
How about that? And
that's because Texas doesn't have any regulations on licensing. It's all voluntary.
Really?
And so I guess the parting thoughts would be, that's one of my goals is to set the bar and to raise it in this industry, especially in our home state here in Texas. I would like to see more restrictions and more regulations. And it's not often you hear that coming out of a business owner's mouth. But I've just heard too many horror stories of people taking money and leaving or having an accident and not being properly insured. That's the one thing that unfortunately sets us apart is we have general liability insurance and workers' comp. And that's not just to protect our workers, it's to protect the homeowners that could be liable for these accidents that happen on their property. So that's really what I'm trying to do here is just to raise the bar and do the best we can.
Right. And be the discount that does it right.
Correct.
Not just some out of state that's here for a buck.
Exactly.
That's excellent. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation with you today on Caddo.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Thanks for hosting us.
You bet. Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagined. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.